Hey Twiggy, how's it going? Thanks for joining me, guys. Just going to quickly run the post on Twitter, just letting people know that we're running the live stream. How are you, Twiggy? How are you finding the market today? Just going to give it some time. You're doing okay. Haven't been slaughtered too badly. That's good to hear, Twiggy. I think sometimes we've just got to keep an eye and just be careful with what's going on, basically. Fortunately, I don't think Bitcoin is done yet, so anything in particular, Twiggy, you want to take a look at? Any charts that you're looking at the moment? Just going to wait a little while before we start charting, just while we wait to see if anybody else comes on board. Twiggy, can you just double check with me? Just make sure everything's streaming okay, sound okay, video okay. Yes, absolutely. And I think that's kind of the most important thing, that people understand that when the markets are down, yes, it's tricky, and yes, it's, obviously it can be quite daunting at times, and sometimes people just want to run the other way. But I think when the markets are on a downtrend like they are at the moment, it's the best time to learn, to refine the different charting techniques, indicators, and just the different things that we can use in the tools such as TradingView to try and figure out what our next good buy is. So I'm not that stressed about it. So I think if people saw that, they'd probably find it a lot easier. Good to hear. Well, I know there's two people watching at the moment, you and someone else. So I'm just trying to wait to see if anybody else joins us. I'm only going to start doing these live feeds to kind of see if anyone's got any questions, any coins they want to look at, any tips, tricks that might help out. You see, and that's the problem with. So just while we wait to see if anybody else joins us, just kind of looking here at Bitcoin on the daily chart. And as much as I keep hoping, like this afternoon, I think over the last 12 hours, I thought it was actually going to do a bit of a bounce. Like obviously the daily looks, it's pretty obvious, I guess. I just thrown some lines up earlier today. It could jump off any of those lines. But I think we're looking at anywhere between 7,200 and 6,500. I think. I don't think it's done yet. The funny thing is, if you turn it down to the 5-minute chart, you can actually see how. I was looking at this earlier on. I've been watching the markets pretty steadily today, and we can see at that 5-minute mark, if I just go and look at the chart from here to here, It's just about 12 hours of sideways action, tried to build up a little bit, then we kind of saw it here break the 231. This is only the 5-minute chart, of course, but definitely far from even broke to oversold on the 5-minute chart. But as we know, I mean, the daily shows us pretty much on the ball. The fact that we're under that 231, the 77 has also broken the 231. The 7 has gone under the 231. I definitely think this is going to be more or less our window between the 70, I'd say 7,200 and 6,500, which is a pretty big window, but Bitcoin has known to make dramatic spikes and dips. Here, when it did the last one, it did in 3 days. It went up about, I think it was about $1,000. Could have been 2 days. So it was $1,200 in like 2 days. So there's definitely a lot that this market can do at the moment. I mean, we're obviously very far from that long-awaited 10,000. I think we really need to break that 10,000 if we want to see anything else. But definitely the 10,000 is what we're going for, but I think we're far from it. I actually saw a really good post today on Twitter about some cycles. I think it almost looked like a monthly. Let's see if this one that Crypto Rand posted, and it's basically a cycle. It's almost like a monthly. So we've got kind of like mid-July, mid-September, then it jumps all the way to February. Like obviously this is our uptrend, and I believe what they're running here, it looks like an RSI. It's just set up differently. But if you see every time it hits that oversold, which looks like to be between probably around 435 and thinking about 25, like that's we're almost there. Like we're down to, I actually drew a chart earlier today, which is just including. So we thought the bounce had been at 72.50, actually peaked up to 7,600 earlier on today. But obviously, as we can see, just from these charts, that this was the one I was really interested in. There we go. Is that bottom oversold? Well, it's probably easier to look at it in the charts. That oversold is what I'm really looking at on the daily. Like we're currently sitting at 32. So if that can go under 30, so last time we had a spike on the 4th of February. Yeah, that is tough. We'll go through Twiggy, just give me some time. We're just going to go through Bitcoin a little bit, and then we'll jump onto some charts that I've been looking at today. I did actually buy a few coins today. I thought, it was it wasn't a strong bounce, and I only bought a few so I think in a market like this, you can buy, or you should buy, two types of coins. Either coins that have completely retraced, gone back to bottom, that strong support and hit a bottom and are kind of turning around, and we hope, we don't believe they're going to go down any further, or the coins that haven't really been affected by a BTC dip or spike, which those are the really hard ones to find. But I definitely think there's a few out there, and we'll go through those in a second. So yeah, so we're currently at 32. I don't know if it does actually go down, we're probably going to see, as much as I'd hate to see it, we might see something like that. But as most people know, having a touch either 6,500 or this previous support, which is when it did that really strong bounce at 6,000, isn't a bad thing. It just means it's aligning that support and getting ready for a new run. It's taken, I mean, if you think about how long it's taken to do this run at where it's at now, $160, about almost 4 months, which is kind of like for January, February, March, April, first 4 months of the year. But that's, now if I change that to say something like a weekly, great scheme of things, it doesn't actually look that bad. If it hit that really strong support, it's probably one of the lines that I had on. It's that 65. So this line here on the weekly is the 6,500 support that I have marked. It will go down to 65, hopefully reach that support again, and instead of just doing this small bounce, we'll hopefully get a bigger bounce. So okay, so we're just let me know, guys, if there's anything you want me to go through specifically. I'm just going to go through a few charts that I was kind of going through today, and just a few that I think definitely coins to keep an eye on. Won't be saying that right now is a buy. As we know, Bitcoin is currently sitting at around 7,300 and could very possibly continue to dip all the way down to 6,000. I'm hoping it won't dip to that. I'm hoping it will dip to about 6,500. But that is still another 800 below to what we are right now. Okay, so let's take a look at a few charts. They've either been holding on pretty well, or see, TRX is actually a strong chart. So TRX is currently, it's gone again. For all those people who were new to the channel, we're looking at the BOSS method, intellectual property from Brandon Kelly. And this is the BOSS method, which is 7 with 3 moving averages, the 7, which is the white. Just turn those candles off. So the 7, which is the white, the 77, which is the blue, and the 231, which is the grey area. So TRX is definitely looking good. It's currently up above the 3, so they're way above the 231, so definitely keeping clear from the 231, which makes it a very, very strong coin. But considering everything that, this is very strong to see that the space continue there. Now we've got a current uptrend, which it hasn't broken down from, and that's very important for it to maintain that. And then we can also see, like, even if, so TRX is currently trading at about 938, even if we were to see it go to all-time highs, got a good 15%, and those are good trades in today. And considering that if we have, anything between 5 and 15% are good trades at the moment, while BTC is doing its jazz. Yes, Twiggy, I've got pay on my chart, so I'll definitely look at that in a second. TRX is looking very strong. I've been in TRX and will be holding for now, unless it do some kind of turnaround. Hey Glenn, nice to have you on board. Another chart that I was looking at earlier today is QSP. I believe QSP still holding, so it did a kind of bit of a retrace. So if I look at that retrace, we're looking at a 26% retrace, which is quite a strong pullback, but then quickly bounced off the 231. So if we were to do another line here, it's actually done that 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's done it quite a few times, and as long as it continues to maintain that uptrend, I believe this one's a strong coin. Now, if I move this coin to a daily, you can actually see that it's got some very good momentum and has had since early April, and then obviously the potential. Like, I keep in mind that we don't always go for potentials these days. It's very difficult, but we have a potential of 94%. Even if it just made it here, it would be 40%. Even if it just made it to the current, we've got another 15%. Before I forget, guys, this isn't financial advice. It's just me surfing the charts and telling you what I think. And also remember, like, when you're going to select your charts, make sure you do your own investigation. Do your own research. Make sure you're happy with whatever you invest. Remember to only invest what you are prepared to lose or can lose, and take one step at a time. I know the market's difficult at the moment, but there's still definitely things out here. And take this time, I guess, if you're currently sitting on the sidelines, which is not a bad idea at all, and waiting for Bitcoin to get down to that bottom, then it would be a good idea for you to kind of learn, analyze, see what the markets are doing, and just get a better idea of what's out there before you move on. Next, we're going to look at Binance. On Here we go. So I've currently drawn a support here on Binance at about 14,045. Again, it's way above the 231 that has now shown up. So while we are on the uptrend, having this space is quite healthy as long as it doesn't turn around. Because if it does turn around and it does break that line, then we're going to have that space to fill in, and that would be painful. So for now, I think BNB is showing some strong support. It's been holding up quite well against Bitcoin. So I'm actually quite happy to continue in this trade. They say there's a lot of good things coming out for Binance. So this is still looking like a strong trade. Sorry, I was on the daily there. So if I just jump quickly into the 333, we can see that on the 18th, so about 4 or 5 days ago, we just crossed above the 231. So still looking strong, currently at 343, and could potentially keep going. That one, if we went to all-time highs, yeah, 20%. So also another one that I've been looking at. Twiggy, we're going to look at Pay. Now, Pay, I actually jumped into Pay, I think it was this morning. Like, this is looking ridiculously good. Now, and this is one of the things we have to think about Pay. So Pay is, like, if I were to look at a chart, and this is when we have to decide if we're going to look at a chart just short term or long term. 343, is it a buy? No, it's definitely not a buy. It's way under the 231, but it kind of has hit some support. However, if we zoom out of this chart, and I mean completely zoom out, sometimes you have to zoom out to look at the bigger picture and see what the chart can offer. Now I'm going to just get rid of these. This Fibonacci was drawn from the last bigger spike. Just leave that there for now. I'm going to get rid of those candles. And this is why Pay is such a strong chart. So Pay came out back in July last year, and it did a huge spike as soon as it came out. And as we know these days, obviously we don't get those huge spikes in coins. However, once it did that spike, it did a 90% correction, which was massive. So if you had bought up there, that wouldn't be a good thing. However, if you had followed the boss method, you would have either sold here or sold here and not suffered that 90% loss. But what I want to show you is like this has got to be getting ready, you know, every chart. So when the charts are lining up and we're looking at the cycles within a chart, every chart, as Brandon would mention, has 3 cycles or 3 moves. We look at breakout, breakdown, flat line. And look at how long. That's not very straight, is it? Doesn't really look like a flat line. There we go. And flat line. So this has been, even though, yes, it did a spike, and if you had been following pay over here, even though it was a relatively small spike compared to, I guess, the potential that it's got, you could have made 77% or even 100% on the last rise it did back in December. So there we've had, I guess, a mini break up, breakdown, flat line again. And then if I look at it again and look at even the smaller scale, so this is the last movement over the last couple of months. We're currently in break up, breakdown, then we've got flat line, and it's got to go up. So like I said, on the 343, it's definitely not a buy. However, just going to get rid of those lines. Just move it to the daily. But like I said, if you look at the potential that this chart has and the cycle that it's been completing, it'd be crazy not to jump into it. These charts are a bit hard to set up sometimes. And there's actually quite a few charts that are doing, I mean, and the other really important thing with pay is, so if you recall what I said earlier on in the video, there's a couple of reasons when we buy. And when we buy either because the coin has a really strong support and it's reached the bottom and we don't believe it's going to go lower, so we buy in, or because the chart's looking good and the white has crossed the blue, and even though this one hasn't, the white hasn't crossed the blue, it has reached that support again. And I don't honestly think it's going to go lower than that. If I turn on the candles, like it's done it again, we're back here again. So in theory, it should do. Probably might take a little bit to break that support because it's tried to do that a few times already. So we've got 1, almost 2, 3, 4, 5 hits on that strong ceiling it's trying to break through. But once it does, this, I believe, so let's just move it back to the 343 again. So if I just break it back to the 343, the other thing I'm really liking about pay is that the 231 also seems to be tailing off. So it obviously came down. It's at a bit of a flat line. It's already started its ascent. Then you've got the 77, which even though it's already done, I reckon it will do this. And the 231 will help it come down. And if I am correct, and this is the bottom, then we should definitely see the 77 do the turnaround and also come up. Once those 3 lines align and decide to go in the same direction, we should see some pretty good potential in pay. Did that help, Twiggy, regarding pay? I also will look at Nano and Power in a second. Glenn, can I ask a question about exchanges? I currently only trade on Bittrex, but I'm finding I need more options as to what to trade. Are there better exchanges? Just ignore if too off topic. No questions are too off topic. I was only on Binance till a week ago and just got on Bittrex. Binance is very good in my opinion. So what I can actually do for you, I will send you a referral link, and what you can do is you can actually create an account. Now, I use currently 2 exchanges. I use Bittrex. So I used to use Polynex, and I've still got an account, but I don't use it. I use Bittrex because I believe Bittrex still has some coins that don't really show up anywhere else. So I find that quite important. So I'm still using that. And then I have Binance. Now, the thing with Binance is a lot of the newer coins are coming out in Binance. There are actually a lot of coins that are quite strong. So I would definitely agree with Glenn on that, and you should definitely be using the Binance, because Binance is definitely going to come out with some strong coins. So I've just sent you the referral link. Actually, that's not going to come through. Just give me a second, guys. That pay ended up with a lot of information. Okay, Glenn. I've definitely got a referral link if you're interested, to help you create your account. So if you're interested in that, just message me up either in the comments of the video or message me up on Twitter, and I can definitely send you a link. I definitely think Binance is one of the stronger platforms at the moment. Just FYI, there's also a few other exchanges like KuCoin, HIT, BTC, OKEX, HUOBI, which is another one. I find it quite difficult to keep coins in every exchange, so I'm quite happy with using KuCoin, Bittrex, and Binance for now until something else better comes up. So, okay. Wow, been live for half an hour now. Just going to go through a few more charts. Let's just get rid of all these lines on this chart so that I can draw. And I'm just going to pull back the support because I think that's quite important. And I knew I'd forget that where that was. I'm just going to type it in again. 17969. Okay, guys, let's check out a few more coins. We have RDN. Oh, Bitfinex is the other one. Again, I'm not really using Bitfinex. Now, this is another, I guess it's lining up the same as Pay. It's got a really strong support around here, and it's hit it once, twice back in December last year, hit it against in March, hit it against in April, and it's come down to that again. So this is another coin that I bought because I also believe that even though these coins are currently under, I don't think they've got very, they don't really have a lot of place to go. So I think they'll probably do this. I mentioned this in the last live stream I did. This Wyckoff pattern where you get like an accumulation, you kind of go up, then you do what they call a distribution, start the downtrend, another distribution there, and then go down. So what will happen, I believe what will happen next is will be the accumulation phase while it goes kind of sideways, and then it should go back up again. So that is RDN for you on the 343. Now there were two coins that I was going to talk about, or I am going to talk about just very briefly, are Strat and Steam. Now these were two coins that were actually looking really strong. Unfortunately, or fortunately for those who bought it earlier on, they were both listed on, I don't remember where it was now. So, see, Steam and Strat. Steam and Strat. They got listed on BitHub. So normally when coins are listed on some kind of exchange, you'd think that there was going to be a big spike. So there was a spike that took it up to, it wasn't a lot, it was only like 13%, and now it's come back down again. Now I'm currently still in Strat, and I'm not planning on selling it yet, because I still think it's got a strong support here. So as long as it doesn't break that support, like I said, it was doing quite well before the listing anyway, we should be fine. But don't forget, we're running really tight top stop losses. Steam, same thing. These coins were looking so nicely before they got listed. Again, got listed on BitHub and made this one made a bit more. Yeah, this one made about 27%, and then it just plummeted back down again. So I still think they're strong coins. They have been in the past. I'm just hoping the listing should allow it to just continue. If not, they will break and go back under the 231, and then we'll have to sell them again. So that's those two. So guys, I'm almost running out of coins from my list. So if there's anything you want me to look at, please let me know in the chat. The other coin that I was looking at is RDD. That's currently sitting on Bitcoin. I thought this was quite an interesting one. I drew this pattern. To this pattern, I drew, I think it was around here, or around here. This was about early May. That this could potentially do a head and shoulders. I think it's a coin that I was planning on buying. If I have got set up targets, what chances are I was going to buy it, or had already bought it. I think I was going to buy it. And then it seemed to have completed the pattern, unfortunately. So it definitely did that head and shoulders. Sorry, no, that's not right. I think I bought here, sold when it reached the target, which would have been, I made a really small profit on this one. Sold at the target, then left it and went, okay, it's going to dip again. I'm going to go back. Then I saw the white cross the blue, and then it started going downhill from there. So on the good side, we can see that the head and shoulders has completed. And if this holds, so if we just get rid of all of that for a second, if it holds, we could potentially see it turn around. And it looks like it already tried to do that with quite a strong candle on the 343. Let's see. Yeah, on the 1 hour it almost came out of the 231 and it's just come back down again. So it has the potential, like I said, especially because the head and shoulders has completed. So in theory we could see it's actually reached that neckline, but we've just got to wait and see. wait and see what Bitcoin does to it. It's definitely one that I'm keeping an eye on. It don't currently have it, but definitely keeping an eye on it. So we've got Twiggy and Glenn online. Anybody else online? Any info that you guys want to ask me about? Just kind of going through. Glenn, I've gotten your message and I will be sending you the referral code there. That will allow you to create an account. There's a Binance referral program as well. So you can also give that out to your friends when you create your account. There's definitely some really good gems. Like out of the coins that we went through today, I think TRX is also on Bittrex. We've got TRX, QSP, BNB, RDN. There's so many other ones. Like if I just quickly go through a few of the gems that we have over in Binance, we've got, let's see, we've got Ben. Now these are not, so the next coins that we'll check EOS in a second, Glenn. So Vent's definitely a really good coin. It's got, I know it's got a strong platform, and there's been a lot of talk about this coin. Is broken at the moment, is not a buy, but definitely one that I'm watching out for. We've also got on Binance Ontology, which made ridiculous profits in the past. Now that's kind of been going sideways for since the 11th, so just about 2 weeks now. Whether it holds or not is hard to tell. However, it does have a pretty strong support. I've got some lines drawn up for ontology, so it does have a strong support. I'll get rid of that one, but we've got those lines that it seems to be maintaining between those lines, and I think while we maintain it, could do some more sideways action and then kind of go through. What other coins do we have? We have WAN. These are all on Binance, Glenn, just to give you an idea. WAN. Really like WAN. I made some nice profits from WAN, but it's currently done quite a big correction. So it went from all-time high straight down to 46% correction in 21 days. However, it does look like it's bouncing off the 236. So hopefully it will bounce off that and it's also got quite a big support over here. It may retrace, may not, not sure. Let's see what other coins we've got in Binance. Oh yes, so we've got ZRX, also a really strong coin. I think that one's also in Bittrex. I had gotten into ZRX and then I was going to get into ZRX and then thought no. Then I found out that Coinbase had sold. Coinbase bought a protocol that I believe uses ZRX, so we did a huge spike. I went no, not interested in it anymore. So, but still definitely watching it. It could definitely have done a looks to a bounce of the 231 and the 343 chart, so it may continue to go up, but for now it's pulling back from that big spike from the news. Let's take a look at EOS. EOS was also another coin. I actually missed a lot of this run from EOS because I kept thinking it's gone too high, and it kept going, which was crazy. If you had followed the boss method back when it first started, you would have made, let's even take it to 196% in almost 2 months. Oh, wow. 196% in 2 days. However, right now EOS seems to have found a support here. We've got a support that came back from end of April. Did kind of grow under it, but it could also just be hitting the 618 and could be bouncing back. Now, if that coin bounces back, we could be seeing all-time highs. because we've definitely got the potential to get, probably do it in 2 rounds. So it could go here, which is 33%, then go here, which is 58%, and we could go way beyond that. So EOS could be, so if you're asking me if it's going to go lower, don't know. Could. Unfortunately, this coin is still kind of retracing. It could, yeah. Let's see what the daily is doing. So there's a few different timelines I like to look at. Daily seems to have now a green candle. Okay, and then we've got the 4 hour, which is a 343. And the other thing I didn't notice just now is, oh wow. So EOS actually, on the 4 hour chart, EOS actually came down to 25 RSI oversold. So that could be the bounce, hopefully. MACD is looking really good. MACD has now turned over, blues above the orange, and the histogram has gone up. So that's a good sign. Let's turn the cloud on. Definitely a good sign that the Ichi cloud is getting thinner. The green, there was quite a bit of green there. So, I mean, definitely has the potential to be the low for the moment. The other thing is I usually wait for confirmation these days. So there's a couple of things that, if I'm looking at the 4 hour chart and I'm looking at the cloud, let's get rid of that for a second. Actually, let's move into the hour. I usually use the hour for the cloud. So what do we see? We have the span is currently above the price. That's a very good sign. The greens are just, like literally over the last couple of hours, the green's gone above the blue, which is also a very good sign. Cloud still has to get through this cloud. If it does, we could end up around here, which could give us 115, 36, 15. It's currently sitting at 14. So it has potential. The other thing is regarding the volume. The volume, let's see, if I take it up to the 4 hours, volume, the thing with the volume is you've got red, green, red, green, red, green, but it's still kind of maintaining itself. As long as we don't see that volume decrease significantly, then it definitely has the potential. Oh, I don't like that. On the daily, the cloud, you can see it coming through the cloud. That may just mean it will go sideways before it goes up. But then it will have, if it has to go back up, it will have to get through this resistance on the daily. So that's going to be a bit tough. You'll probably find some stormy weather on the way up. So yeah, it's definitely got the potential to have found a low for now. I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Maybe just set up an alert. If you guys follow the videos that I've set up, there's a video on how to set up the alerts in TradingView, and you can set up an alert maybe just a little bit higher. So my alert's currently at 14816, just because that was where it had touched a few times before. And if it goes through that, but then again, you could buy at 2 points either when it goes through that alert or when it actually closes above that alert. So we get confirmation is the other thing. So hope that helps, Glenn, with EOS that you were asking me about. So I'm just going to quickly jump into our Twitter to see if there's any news, any good news for crypto. You know how I was mentioning Steam and Strat? I think they both broke. Instead of breaking up and holding, they've pretty much turned around. So might have to wait for a pullback for either one of those two coins. Any other question? Oh, I just remembered. Twiggy had mentioned two coins that I haven't looked at today, which were Nano and I think it was Power. Nano and Power, yep. Yeah, Nano's a tricky one. Nano got beat really bad. If you look at Nano, at where it was doing great, I made some good profits off Nano. 63% retrace. However, so our volume still hasn't picked up. We're still very low on volume when it comes to Nano. MACD still is undefined. However, that RSI is hit 26, oversold. So maybe that's the low. Let's see. So that's on the daily chart. Let's go up to the 343 and see what it's doing on the 343. Definitely has the potential to be a low. If that's a low, then both about as low as they have ever been. Yeah, you're right, Twiggy. That could be a good buy for Nano. I have to write that one down. I think most of my buys right now will probably be more coins like these, where they've gone down to as low as they can ever get. Power. That's where it's currently at. Yes, Power. The only downside to Power is, well, it's currently broken, and if I draw another line at where it has been at its absolute lowest, let's just ignore the wick and go from there. If that resistance doesn't hold, we're looking at another, oh, ouch, 35% drop. So I would not be looking at Power for now. I'd probably wait for some confirmation for it to turn around. However, yeah, I'm quite liking Nano. Nano could be a good opportunity to mix them up and watch it turn around. Definitely that daily is looking really good. That RSI oversold looks very positive. So do you guys have any other questions about the charts, about the boss method, about the different indicators that we've used and set up? We'll also set up some tutorials regarding the MACD and the RSI and how they're set up as well, if you guys are interested in watching that. My pleasure, Twiggy. That's what I'm here for. I've been trying at Twitter today, just trying to get an idea of what the markets are talking about, and so much news. Some's actually really interesting. Like I saw that video. There's a video, I think it's on the CNN, CNBC site about. I would have had it reposted on my page, retweeted. Sorry. About how they're going to start listing more tokens. I think just big news coming out for. I know Cheap Air said that they were going to start receiving Bitcoin as well, which is huge. It's just a lot of big news coming out for cryptocurrencies everywhere. Let's try to see if there's other good news out there. We're going to stay online for another 10 minutes just in case you guys want to ask me anything. If there's anything else you guys want me to look at. 40. What's this? Oh, and Ethereum. What Ethereum's doing? I had Ethereum. I made some nice profits off Ethereum. Bittrex. Yeah. No. Yeah, no. As the Kiwis would say here in New Zealand. I don't believe this is ready to turn around at the moment. So, sorry, not to turn around. Yeah, I mean to turn around and keep going up. I think it's doing a pullback. It's currently done 13%. If it holds this support at 74, it would be good, but I don't know if it will, so hopefully it does. Wait and see. RPX and waves. Absolutely risky. Let's see what those. I actually really like jumping onto Twitter and just checking to see what other people are buying. See, this is another. This one looks like Nano. Why? Simply because it's gone down to its lowest. So at I can't think of any question, but thank you so much for your insights. My pleasure, Glenn. 117% last time it turned around. So if I take this to the 343, definitely has potential. That's the lowest it's ever been. Another interesting one. RPX. And no, I'm not buying these. I'm just writing them down just in case. And the other one is Waves. Waves is a good solid platform. So Binance, doing on Binance. Got less information on Binance. Yeah, it's very broken at the moment though. Could find some support here, but it may not. So no, Waves is not a good coin to look at the moment. Okay, guys. So I think that's about it for today. Hope this overview helped. Thank you to the same. I don't know if it's the same 8 as last time, but I had another 8 people watching me today. So I hoped it helped. I hope you guys learned a little bit tips and tricks about the different things that we can do. And please remember to follow me on YouTube, subscribe, remember to comment, thumbs up, turn post notifications on. Thank you so much for your support. We will continue to do crypto trading for beginners, teaching everybody out there just some cool things for people to learn and how to make you guys profitable in the market as well. Remember to follow us on Facebook. We've got the #1 Bitcoin group in the world, over 23,000 subscribers and a lot of people with some great information. We've got our Twitter account, Nanicrypto, which also give you information about day-to-day trades. We haven't been posting a lot of those lately just because we believe the market isn't ready yet. But I really believe that right now we will be turning around and obviously learning and starting to, do an uptrend. Hopefully very soon. If that cycle completes, then we can definitely start seeing some turnarounds and some serious profits in both Bitcoin and the altcoins. Thanks so much, Danny. See you soon. Happy trading. Thank you so much, Triggy. So thanks to all you guys for your support, following me, and keeping me company while we do trading. Happy trading, everyone, and have a good evening. Talk to you soon. Bye.